Hello, it's Gavin again from Lucid Computer Solutions. How you doing? So today we have another kind of mini review video for you, and we will be reviewing this monitor, which is the Iiyama, I think is how you pronounce it, and it is the XUB3493WQSU-B1. Prizes for anybody who can remember that model number off the top of your head, because I certainly can't. So in short, it is a 34-inch ultra-wide monitor. And some of you may know, who follow the channel, please subscribe if you don't, that I did recently purchase this monitor, but I had a problem with it and I had to send it back. So we'll come to that. But yes, some of you may have already seen a little bit about this monitor from the channel. So so this is it's personally mine. A lot of the review stuff I do is for our customers, but this is my actual monitor for one of the desks here at the office for me to use. So I was in the market, a little bit of context here, and I will get into the nitty gritty of the monitor very, very quickly. But I was in the market for a new monitor. I previously used dual screens. You might be able to see some in the background there over the other side of the office. I traditionally used two dual screen 24-inch monitors. But the reason I wanted to switch was I was preferring having one central monitor in front of me. So much so I experimented with using just one of the 24-inch monitors right straight in front of me, and actually started to prefer that rather than twisting my neck all the time. So hence, one 24-inch screen wasn't enough for me. But then I was like, okay, I want to go for a larger monitor. I got the opinion of a couple of my colleagues here who are into their games, which is beneficial because they know a lot more about monitors than I do. And they was like, well, I think ultra wide is the way to go for you. Bearing in mind, this is for work. This isn't for gaming. This isn't for watching films. This is for me at work. So they said ultra wide is going to be the best option for you. And this one ticked a lot of the boxes. It was a choice between this one and a Samsung 34-inch monitor that were both in about the same price range. But I ended up going for this one based on the recommendation. The specs were better than the Samsung monitor I was looking at. I was hoping, when I spoke to my colleagues about this, they would recommend this one over the Samsung, because I preferred the stand on this one. The Samsung doesn't have a tiltable and adjustable stand of it, whereas this one you can tilt, pivot, rotate, up, down, everything. And I was like, purely for the stand, I prefer this one. But they said actually spec-wise, your refresh rates and all the other specs with it are much higher than the Samsung, so this is the one to go for. So I bought this one, 34-inch ultra-wide screen. So spec-wise, what do we have here? It's, as I mentioned, a 34-inch ultra-wide screen. It's got DisplayPort, it's got two HDMI connectors on it. It has a USB hub as well, so you can connect it to your computer and then use the USB ports on the monitor itself, which is maybe handy for you. It might not be, but I thought for me that's quite good. I'm always plugging in USB pens and USB drives, so that may be of benefit to me. As I touched on, the stand on it is fantastic because it tilts, it goes up, it goes down, it can rotate. It's great. I'm not actually going to do that right now because I've got my monitor to exactly where I want it and I don't want to mess with it, to be brutally honest. And the beauty of the ultra wide screen is because of the resolution, which is 3440, it means I can have the equivalent of basically like two 24-inch monitors on the one screen, which is fantastic. You may have seen at the start of the video, I had two full size, so to speak, Chrome tabs open, and it easily fits there, and it's like the same as having your dual screen monitors basically without the bezel in the middle. So it's fantastic. It does that no problem at all. The speakers on it are okay. They're not amazing, but they are okay. So there is some audio output there. Personally, for me, working in an office, the speakers aren't a big deal. I know it's a strange time at the moment when we've got people working from home, but even if all of our team were here, I still really wouldn't play anything through the speakers because it would just annoy the rest of the team. I generally use headphones anyway, but yeah, the speakers are there and they're okay if you are using the speakers on it. One thing to talk about here, a couple of things really, is the price of the monitor and also the support, because like I said, if you're a follower of this channel, you will see I've previously had a problem with this, so I just wanted to touch on that. So first of all, the price. I think it's an absolute bargain. I bought this for about £300. At the moment, bearing in mind the prices fluctuate all the time. So whenever you hear me talking about pricing, it's only on the day I film the video because prices fluctuate so much. At the moment, this is around about £330. The link over to Amazon will be below. And yeah, at the time of filming, it's about £330. Honestly, I think it's a bargain. I think I have no problem with that price point at all. The Samsung monitor I was looking at was a little bit more than that, and this, based on the specs, is better, and this has the better stand, definitely. And any other monitor, a 34-inch ultra-wide screen, will be only upwards and upwards and upwards. I haven't seen one cheaper than this. Now, obviously, with this being the cheapest 34-inch ultra-wide screen around, there will be some limitations to it. I'm not a heavy gamer, but I know there'll be stuff to do with gaming where it lags, potentially. But bear in mind, this is my office computer, where I'm just doing stuff, basically, in Chrome tabs. That's all I do all day, every day. So for that, it's perfectly fine. In fact, it's better than fine. It's really, really good. There is the full menu system where you can adjust all your usual stuff, brightness, contrast, all that kind of stuff. But what I will say is, out of the box, I fired this up. I maybe adjusted one or two things, but it was completely good to go as it was out of the box. It was completely fine. But all that stuff is there. If you do want to mess with that, feel free. But as it comes out the box, the brightness, the sharpness is completely fine. It's really good quality in my opinion. So touching on quality, as I've referred to a couple of times now in a previous video, this isn't my original monitor. I bought this and I had a failure within a week, which isn't great, is it? Considering I've just said all these wonderful things about it, but I'm always honest and open with everything I put on this channel. So on my previous one, basically, I had a problem where the brightness went completely. It was all kind of blurry and pixelated. I don't know what had failed in it. Something had clearly failed. So I had to go to Iiyama, if that's how you pronounce it, support. I had to go through them. They were fairly quick to log my case and acknowledge there was a fault with the monitor. That was all done and dusted within a couple of days. The issue I had at the time, they told me they were having issues getting hold of stock, so I had to wait for my replacement around about 10 days. It's not the end of the world for me because, you know, I run a computer business and I've got monitors coming out my ears, so I just grabbed a couple of alternative monitors for the time being and I use them. But if I was at home and this was my only monitor, then obviously probably would have been a little bit cheesed off waiting 10 days. But for me, it wasn't a big deal. I'm always busy. I've always got other screens I can use. That wasn't a big problem. I did have to chase them once more, say, look, what's going on? And then miraculously, within a couple of days, my replacement monitor did arrive. In terms of getting it exchanged, it was completely fine. I boxed my one up. The courier came and delivered my new one and immediately took away my faulty one as well. So the service when we got there was completely fine. If I don't want to have a problem with this one, touch wood very quickly, but if I did, I think the support would be completely acceptable, completely fine. So the support is there, I suppose, is what I'm saying. If anything does go wrong, the support experience was okay. It wasn't exceptional. It was okay. So overall, would I recommend this monitor? Yes, I would, completely. But bear in mind, my context here, my use of it is office work. It isn't gaming. I'm not watching 4K Ultra HD films on this or anything like that. So if you're wanting something for like that at home for games and movies, I advise you do a bit more research and make sure this will be acceptable for you. But in an office setup to do work, I would completely recommend this. It's been a pleasure to use once I had my fully working one here. It's been absolutely fine. It's been really, really good. I love it. I couldn't go back to the dual screens now with the bezel. I much prefer one big screen like this. So there we go. That is a mini review of the Iiyama XUB3493WQSU-B1. Do I win a prize? I didn't actually remember it, so I don't win a prize. I can see it on my notes. So there we go. If this video has been useful in any way, shape or form, please do smash the like button. It really helps grow our channel. I can't stress that enough. You'd be doing me a wonderful favour just by smashing that like button for me. Please do subscribe to the channel. We're releasing new content all the time, and feel free to use the links below to connect with me on LinkedIn, Instagram and Twitter. Likewise, comment on the video if you've got any thoughts, any alternatives, any recommendations, any questions. Please do use the comments section. As you'll see from some of my other videos, I try and personally get back to everybody as quickly as I can. So that's me, Gavin from Lucid Computer Solutions. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.